Hey everybody, welcome back to HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com and another episode of Questions and Coffee. Hope you have your cup of coffee with David. This is where I get up bright and early in the morning, and the first thing I do every morning before I get down into the studio and do all the fun stuff is I sit here bright and early in the morning, and it's about 4:30 in the morning at the recording of this video, and I answer all of the questions that have come in over the last couple of days to try to help you with all the struggles that you might be having in your home studio. So if you want one of your questions answered in an upcoming episode, please send your question to info@homerecordingmadeeasy.com. That's info@homerecordingmadeeasy.com, and your question will be featured in an upcoming episode. It may take a couple of episodes to get to your questions because I'm getting dozens of questions every single week, and I want to kind of do them in first come, first serve. So thank you for being patient, but please send in your questions and I will answer them for you. So now before we get to this week's set of questions, if you could do me a favor, if you like what you see in this video, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out tremendously. Also go out to facebook.com/homerecordingmadeeasy and follow me there, as I always have content going up on the Facebook page that's not always necessarily a part of YouTube. And for more tips, tricks, concepts, and training around all aspects of home recording, mixing, and mastering, be sure to go out to HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com and take close attention, or pay close attention to the Made Easy series and the Quick Mix series. I'm constantly adding products and new titles to those catalogs to help you make better music in your home studio. So now that we got all that out of the way, let's head on over to question number one. Okay, question number one comes in from YouTube, and it comes from Thrasher. And Thrasher writes in, "Hi Dave, do you have any videos on each stock plugin that come with Studio One? If not, can you take a minute on each coffee session and maybe explain one of them in a session? For instance, today it's Ampire, tomorrow it's the Bit Crusher, etc. What are they, and how are they used? No need to go into super depth, just an overview would be great. Thanks." Well, Thrasher, thanks for writing in. Part of these questions and coffee videos, I don't have Studio One in this part of my studio. I'm actually up in my home office. I'm not down in my studio where I have Studio One available. But I've been asked this question a couple of times, so I just want to let you know and let the viewers know that I am planning to do an entire YouTube series. It'll be for free on YouTube to go through each one of the Studio One stock plugins and how you kind of use them in a quick little maybe 3 to 5 minute video, and I'll break them down by plugin. So that series is something that's on my docket, ready to be worked on in the very near future, so I will do that. But the best thing for you to do with all these plugins is just drop them into your session and start playing around with them. You can also read the manuals on how to use them. I know there's not lots of YouTube videos on the stock plugins because everyone likes to deal with third-party plugins and show off all the cool things they can do, and I'm one of those people. But yes, I will absolutely do that, and so have no fear, that video will be coming pretty soon. The other thing I might do is incorporate these into our monthly live streams. So if you don't know about our YouTube monthly live streams, at the recording of this video, depending on when you're watching this, on May 27th, which is a Saturday, 2017 at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm doing a YouTube monthly live stream, and I do that every month. I think it's the third Saturday of every month. And again, if you follow me on Facebook, you'll see the post up there where every month we do a live stream. And part of our live streams, we talk about different topics. And one of those topics can be maybe looking at a different plugin or two from the stock PreSonus catalog as part of the live stream. So check the Facebook page, follow me on Facebook. Every month, second or third Saturday, we do a monthly live stream, and I'll also could feature that there as well. So thanks for writing in. I hope that answers your question. Now let's get on to question number two. Okay, question number two comes from Scott, and Scott writes in, "Hi David, I really love your -3 to -4 dB EQ technique to instantly clear up my mixes. I noticed a big difference. Bam, all that mid-boxiness went away. I recently acquired a sub-kick mic and I love it, but it seems like there are some boxy frequencies now in the sub-range, cluttering things up down low. Have you found any similar sweet spot frequencies or range to carve out that low frequency range too? Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Scott, for writing in." So the -3 to -4 EQ technique that he's referring to is a video I did on my YouTube channel a while back, and it's really to put any EQ on your master bus. You could say the stock EQ, and if you want to get rid of some of that cloudiness on an overall mix, the way to get some instant clarity, if you will, is to cut out about 3 or 4 dB between 4 and 500 hertz. That will normally get rid of all that kind of nasaliness, kind of cloudiness in your mix. I urge you to try it. So if you're doing a mix and at the end of the mix you feel like, it seems a little cluttered, it seems a little woofy, a little muddy, that kind of thing, slap an EQ on the master bus as the last plug-in in your chain and cut out 3 to 4 dB around 500 hertz, and that will instantly clear up that cloudiness. So that's what he's talking about. As far as the sub-kick mic, I really don't use them, but obviously they're going to be way down low between that 30 and 40 and 60 hertz range. That's where I would do the same kind of technique. I would put an EQ on that kick drum or that sub-kick mic. I would go up around between 30 and excuse me, 60 hertz, and I would boost up the EQ, try to find that nasty frequency or that muddiness that you're talking about, and just dip it out a little bit. Sub-kick mics are cool, but again, you're right. They can cloud up your mix. They can muddy up your mix if you're using it too much. The other thing with a sub-kick mic that I find is typically in the mix, it's usually the mic that kind of sits underneath the other kick mic. So you have, say you have an inside kick, an outside kick, and a sub, or just an inside mic and a sub mic. That sub mic would be really low in the mix. I would just boost it up just enough to give it a little bit of thump. The other thing that I found, as opposed to using a sub-kick mic, a plugin that I really, really like, and I've talked about this plugin before, that will give you that really low subsonic frequencies on your regular kick track, so you really don't need a kick mic, is the Plugin Mix Clarisonic plugin. And if you go out to pluginmix.com, I think the Clarisonic is, I don't know, 40 or 50 bucks. And I use that on 80% of my mixes with kick drums. I love that because it can not only give you the nice click and the slap, it's a real simple plugin to use. I have a video on my YouTube channel that does a review on it. But you can also dial in the real low frequencies and the real subsonic frequencies to give you that kind of best of both worlds, and gives you that kind of sub-kick feel. So that's another thing that you can try if the sub-kick mic is kind of really giving you a hard time. So I hope that answers your question, Scott. Thanks again for writing in. Let me know how you make out. Now let's head on over to question number 3. Okay, last question for this episode comes in from Bob, and Bob writes in, "Hey, dear Dave, thank you so much for the excellent videos. Compression made easy, mixing made easy, and mastering made easy are superb and highly educational." Well, great. Thank you so much, Bob. I really appreciate it. I'm glad the videos are helping you. For all that do not have compression made easy or mixing made easy or mastering made easy, go check them out. They're great, affordable, long-form training videos that will absolutely help bring your productions to the next level. Bob's confirming that right here. Thanks, Bob. I do appreciate that. The YouTube videos are a treasure trove of information. Thanks for everything you do for us audiophiles. Yes, vintage term. Could you explain the bounce selection feature and when to use and when not to use it? If there is an individual clip processing, such as a manual de-essing on a track, is it then locked in or lost with the bounce selection? Thanks again for your expert help. Well, Bob, I think I kind of understand. And again, I don't have Studio One up here to demonstrate this. But basically what the bounce selection is in Studio One, if you have an audio event, and let's say it's a vocal track, and you cut that audio event up into several pieces because you're doing some manual de-essing, you may be doing some clip gain adjustment, whatever you're doing. And now you have an audio event that has several cuts in it, like say 10, 15 cuts in it. And you want to make it now one big block of audio so you don't inadvertently move and disturb those individual cuts or those little individual events. You can highlight all of them and you can right click on that event, and there is a choice called bounce or Command B or Control B, depending on if you're on a Mac or a PC. And what that'll do is it'll now make it one big block of audio. All your edits will be in place though, so anything that you did will retain there. So let's say you did some manual de-essing, as in your example. Those manual de-essing changes that you made will absolutely be in the new bounced selection. Now you can always go back and recut and readjust if you want to. You don't lose the edits that you made. I do this all the time. I don't like to have tracks that have a million cuts in them because you can easily inadvertently move them. The one thing I don't like about Studio One still is they have not given you the ability to lock the events on the timeline so they can't be inadvertently nudged. I've put in requests several times with PreSonus. I know they're aware of it. I think it'll probably come in a future update. It's the only DAW I've ever used where you can't lock the events. And that's a real problem, especially when you do lots of editing. So one thing to kind of help combat that is you can highlight all those many cuts. You can right click and bounce selection. Now there's also a choice called, I believe it's called, and again, I don't have Studio One in front of me. There's bounce selection, and then there's bounce selection to a new track. I believe that's how it's worded. And what that does is it'll take all those little edits that you made, it will bounce it to a brand new audio track as one big solid block of audio, but the original track that has all the cuts will stay in place. So that might be something that you may want to use from time to time if you want to retain all those chopped up cuts. I hope that makes sense. The best thing to do is go in there and try it, but that's kind of how it's used and how I use it. And again, you do not lose the edits that you made when you bounce it. It just makes it one big block of audio, or one long solid event. So you don't have to worry about moving the individual cuts that you might have made. So I hope that answers your question, Bob. Again, thanks for writing in. If I didn't quite answer it, if I didn't quite understand what you asked, please write in again, and I'll certainly try to help you get back on track there. So that's it for this week's episode of Questions and Coffee with David. Again, thank you so much for writing in, sending your questions to info@homerecordingmadeeasy.com, and be sure to go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com for all your training needs around recording, mixing, and mastering. Once again, go to the YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on the notifications, because when I jump online live and I do these impromptu live streams, you'll know that I'm online and you can come on and check out what I'm doing. And also, I'm always scheduling the monthly live stream events. Check those out on the Facebook page. So you have to follow me on Facebook to find out about that. And until the next episode of Questions and Coffee with David, I've been David Vignola with HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com. Once again, thank you so much for your support. I so much appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.